Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Now, the significance of the principle of national self-determination. Many arguments are given in support of the principle of national self-determination. First, each nation has the right to self-government. And in India also, like we have democratic country, so we do have choices of people. We have complete right to have our own government. The Treaty of Versailles, signed after the First World War, marked the end of old European order. Second, the nationalists believed that the ideals of liberty and equality could never be realized until all nations were free. And all nations are equal. Therefore, the ideal of nation state is universally applicable. The nationalists believed in the self-determination, natural equality and the freedom of all nationalities. Third point is world peace. It also depends upon the recognition of principle of national determination. National self-determination. When a nation is not independent, it will always seek to back to its independence. And imperialism, that means the colonization, the domination, it means conflict between the imperial power and the subject nations. States that are unified by national sentiments are always more stable. As India, it is more stable because we do have a sense of unity among us, and it hardly matters. See, where there is a family, there are disputes, but those disputes are not like that India doesn't believe in unity. The main principle of India is unity in diversity. So their laws are usually better obeyed than the states held together by force and repression, because here people know that we do have to follow the constitution, not any power. So constitution is the supreme law. No one could ignore it. So we have a better sense of unity in India rather than the countries which there are monarchy or there is dictatorship. Now, demands for national self-determination. Demands for a separate state to develop among the people in different parts of the world. Let's talk about the Spain first. In 1980, there was Catalonia and the Basque were granted the status of autonomous regions within the Spanish Federation. So there were two autonomous regions, Basque and Catalonia. But Basque extremists were not satisfied. Here they were extremists. With the grant of autonomy, they continued their campaign for independence, and the May 2001 elections in Basque province made it clear that the voters did not approve of the extremist or terrorist activities in order to achieve their political aim. So the moderate National Party PNV emerged victorious as these elections, but people of Basque province had not given up their demand of separate statehood. So it was like people were against them. And in India, the Maizos organized armed rebellion in order to press their demand for a separate state outside the Union of India. Later, they agreed to give up violence and resolve all disputes through constitutional means. Mizoram was accorded statehood within the Indian Union in 1987. And earlier, the Naga region had also been constituted into a state of the Indian Union. In 1925, E.V. Ramaswamy Naicker launched the self-respect movement in the Madras province, and known as the state of Tamil Nadu. In 1944, the Justice Party of Madras was merged with the self-respect movement to form the Dravid Kazhagam, that is DK, which means Dravidian Federation. The DMK party under C.N. Annadurai never liked Tamil Nadu to secede from Indian Union, although it pleaded for the greater autonomy for the state. Self-determination can cause difficulties. Self-determination versus territorial integrity. National self-determination appears to challenge the principle of territorial integrity and of states, as it is the will of the people that makes a state legitimate. This implies a people should be free to choose their own state and its territorial boundaries. Now, what exactly this self-determination is? It is the right of allowing people to determine their own destiny. A nation can choose its own political status and determine its economic, cultural, and social development. Pursuing self-determination. So why do nations within national states want to pursue self-determination? A number of reasons are there. Feelings of being ignored, to protect culture, region, living style, then no say in how a country is run, then limited rights or violated one. Freedoms are full of hurdles. Then perception on how the world should be. So the outcomes of self-determination range from greater political independence or autonomy to sovereignty association to full nation statehood. People are trying to gain or keep the power to control their own affairs. They want to make their own decisions about what in their national interest is. Nationalism and pluralism, rights of cultural minorities. Today, governments are confronted by demands from cultural minorities from recognition, protection, and unless they are supplemented with the theory of minority rights, human to reconcile the multiculturalism or indeed any form of pluralism. Nationalism and pluralism means like persons belonging to national or ethnic, religious and linguistic minorities. Hereof referred to as persons belonging to minorities. Have the right to enjoy their own culture and profess and practice their own religion and to use their own language in private and public and freely without interference or any. Gone are the days when the minorities were treated as a sense of insecurity, because very beautifully it is illustrated in our constitution that these minorities or the other people, those who are the ignored communities, have got the special privileges so that they can also come forward in the field of education, employment, jobs, healthcare, anywhere, wherever they want. Because they are free to practice their religion, they are free to practice their culture, they are free to preserve all those things which they actually want to preserve as their own individual identity. There is no discrimination on the basis of color, caste, gender, religion or any other thing in India. And although the ideal of our one nationality, one state may not be realizable, each distinct national group should be granted these rights. The right to conserve its language and script, conserve its culture and customs, conserve its religion and other institutions. The country like India, it gives a right to each community to conserve its language, even the script as well. And if I give you an example, like if we talk about Bengali or Kannada or Tamil, or if I talk about Punjabi, Hindi, so people can read and write and they can preserve its script as well. There is no harm. It has been scheduled in the constitution as well. And they can conserve their culture and custom also. Nobody is going to force them that they have to go for a particular religion or custom or a festival. Whatsoever they want, they can eat. Whatsoever they want, they can wear. Whatsoever they want, they can celebrate. Even if one community wants to celebrate others' festival, there is no one to say no to it. You are totally free for that. And then conserve its religion and other institutions. Even if you are a follower of one religion and you want to follow another one, nobody is going to stop you. Nobody is going to force you. There is no foundation that you cannot practice two religions at a time. Even you can visit the institutions as well. The rulers of Pakistan failed to protect the language, Bengali language, customs and traditions of the people of East Pakistan. We are lucky that we have unity. Though we are from different language, religion and culture. And India has proven its unity in secularism. But Pakistan, you know the story? when Pakistan was divided, it was East Pakistan and West Pakistan, right? In East Pakistan, the language spoken was Bengali, and West Pakistan, the language spoken was Urdu. This particular area was not able to preserve Bengali culture, the language. So, what happened? Ultimately, this part divided into Bangladesh, and again India helped Bangladesh to preserve their language, their culture, and therefore the leader of this independence movement was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and India was there to help them, and in 1971 East Pakistan became the independent state. Let's revise the chapter now. The rise of nation state. The nation state began to emerge in the early modern era. Monarchs were to unify their nations by the concentrating power in the central government and undermining the power of the nobility. The process took a long time and frequently required violence. And two current trends raised doubts about the future of the nation state. Transnationalism, sometimes called globalization, is a rise of trade and political arrangements that break down national borders. Devolution is a practice of government creating power to regional government, sometimes even granting them autonomy. From which language the word nation is derived? Latin language. And common motherland and common language are the two elements which promote nationalism. But in India it is not like that, and one definition of nationalism, but even then we have one common language, that is Hindi, and one motherland. Obviously we are all living here. And according to Here's nationalism is a unique combination of nationality, nation state and patriotism. And the main supporter of principle of one nation, J.S. Mill and Woodrow Wilson. Main critics of principle of one nation and one state, Bluntschli and Lord Acton. And one distinction between nation and state. State has four essential elements but no essential elements for nation. One argument in favor of mono-national state, it is mono-national state is based on democratic principle, and one argument against mono-national state is if theory of mono-national state is accepted, then all the modern states will be divided into small parts. And then define nation. A nation is a community of persons living in a definite territory and thereby bound together by the bonds of mutual love. And according to Gilchrist, nation is a state plus something else, a unit of the people organized in one state. The name of any four factors which promote feelings of nationalism is motherland, language, religion and culture, that is two common. And two differences between nation and state. State has four attributes: population, fixed territory, government and sovereignty. But elements of nation are not fixed. There is no essential elements of a nation. State has the element of sovereignty and it is essential for the existence of the state, but sovereignty is not essential for the nation. The meaning of nationalism is, the very first meaning is patriotism, love for your country, and it means devotion for the nation. It is an emotional form to express the feeling of nationalism in a unified manner, and this force inspires nationalism to be united in the form of nation. Give two definitions of nationalism. Nationalism is a unique combination of nationality, nation state and patriotism, and according to Hans Cohen, nationalism is first and foremost of a state mind, an act of consciousness. The meaning and the definition of nation. The word nation comes from the Latin word natus, which means born. So a nation is a place where we are born. So the common origin or coming for a common stock. This is the ethnic view regarding the meaning of nation. According to Burgess, a nation is a population of ethnic unity inhabiting a territory of a geographical unity, and according to Bluntschli, nation is a union of masses of bound together especially by language and customs in a common civilization which give them a sense of unity. And distinction from all the foreigners, in brief, a nation is a group of people bound together by certainties like religion, culture, traditions, conventions and literature in such a manner that they have a sense of oneness. And let's distinguish between state and nation. State has four essential elements. This is the best part to differentiate it. Always use a tabular form and give one parameter to each, right? Like first of all, elements. State has four elements and nation are not fixed. So it has four, it has no fixed. Elements of a nation may change, they go on changing, but the elements of states are permanent and they are always the same. That means, what about the elements? Stability. So, the elements of nation may change. For nation, may change. For state, they are permanent. Then, idea of oneness. Here it is essential and here not required. Then, what are the factors that help in the emergence of nation? Common motherland, common race, common language, common religion. Every human being has love for the motherland. Who does not love his motherland is devoid of human heart. People belonging at one place are mutually bound for their love for the motherland. As we do love our home, that is too we love our nation as well. According to the word meaning of nationality, the people belonging to the same race or community are the only basis of nationality, but it is not proven in India because we are secular state. And common language is a significant factor in the emergence of nation. With the help of language, people understand, they come nearer to each other. According to Garner, community of language is the most important factor in molding a people into nationality. But here, we are a little bit different. Our states are on the basis of linguistic basis. That means the language basis. But we all are Indians. Even we fail here at common religion because we win as a secular state. 4 hindrances in the way of nationalism. Absence of emotional integration. The nation which don't have the same race, religion, culture and civilization lack emotional integration. No, it is not like that. In India, we do have win this thing. We can't dream of nationalism in absence of emotional integration. Communalism divides a nation into mutually opposed races, communities and classes, and people fight in the name of religion. Consequently, national integration is ruined and national progress is obstructed. Illiteracy is an enemy of nationalism. Only the illiterate people make the progress of nationalism possible. Provincialism is very harmful for nationalism. People's outlook becomes narrow because of provincialism. 4 merits of nationalism are: it inspirer of patriotism, teaches the sacrifice, unifying factor and created consciousness of liberty. Nationalism develops patriotic feelings. A man is prepared to make any sacrifice for the glory and safety of the country, and it teaches sacrifice also because it inculcates the feeling of sacrifice in the minds of its members, and it is a unifying factor because it dominates mutual struggle and jealousy. And the word nation is symbol of unity and it creates religious and cultural unity. Nationalism created consciousness of liberty. As the feelings of nationalism develops, the states struggle for freedom. Thanks for watching the video.